A very good evening and welcome to Kgosi FM. My name is Segongane, coming to you live on www.kgosiefm.co.za, coming to you live on www.segonganeholdings.co.za/Kgosi FM/, coming to you live again on Radio Garden app and coming to you live again on my Facebook page, Kgosietsile Segongane. My name is Segongane and the show that you're listening to now is the Kgosietsile Segongane live show. Today we are bombarded by tweets after tweets and I don't want to say emails, but I'm saying WhatsApps after WhatsApps on all the groups, MK groups. People were celebrating that they've gained one Floyd Shivambo. There was articles. IOL has an article on the newspaper that says, "Oh, Shivambo is gone." MK cannibalizes EFF. You know what? There's been a bloodbath in the EFF camp, and then we wake up in the morning. We said, "Floyd Shivambo is preparing to leave the EFF, already giving the commander-in-chief himself a letter of resignation from the party, and he's joining none the one MK party of Jacob Zuma." We'll talk about more we'll talk more after the break, and then we will take it from there. And then I'm going to play all this whole press conference of the EFF today that they held in their house of Mandela Mandela House in Brandfontein. We'll play the whole in the interview, and then you'll catch it live here on Kgosi FM. But before then, we're going to talk to our sponsors a little bit. This show is brought to you by Segongane Medical Services and Clinic. They are a private clinic situated in number 70 Tuefengesgras in Westview, Danville. They specialize on the following: primary health care, ailment diagnosis and treatment, including medication, wound care, family planning, well baby clinic, basic ultrasound, laboratory blood services, treatment of chronic illnesses, treatment and management of patients on ARVs, wellness screening, antenatal clinic, HIV services and counseling. They have a pharmacy on site and they are doing CCMDD services as well, OHS clinic, circumcision clinic and abortion services. Their cell phone number is 064 548 7176 or 071 422 8576. Again, the address is 70 Tuefengesgras in Westview, Pretoria West in Danville. Cell phone number again is 064 548 7176 or 071 422 8576. Yeah, and we're back. We are back from the break. That is our sponsor for today, Segongane Medical Services, situated in number 70 Tuefengesgras in Westview, Danville, and they don't take medical aids. They only take cash, and medication is separate. All right. As I said today, this morning we woke up to the news of the one only Floyd Shivambo, the founder of the EFF with General Malema, has resigned from the EFF party, and he has joined none the other, which is the MK party, Jacob Zuma. And it's amazing. It's, you know what, someone said a day in politics is enough, and I tend to agree with them that a day in politics is enough, because today, tomorrow, people are fighters. They are fighting the good fight. Tomorrow they now become opposite sides of the bench, so to speak. But and if you could see Malema himself when he was delivering and answering questions, it's not that Malema that has spunk that we are so used to, that he is the one Malema that was always spunky and always doing being so energetic, but is that Malema that looks so defeated and tired that I just don't want to do this anymore. I think maybe because what he said in the video like that you're gonna show now, he said something like, there were rumors that I'm joining the ANC, and my grandmother, when she was still alive, she said, you can join the ANC if you like and go and enjoy all the benefits, but remember the people that sacrificed to make you where you were, people who left their careers to form the EFF with you. Check and remember them before you can do that. So that's what made him stay in the EFF till today. Maybe he was considering joining the ANC, you'll never know, but then the way his grandmother's words really resonated in his head, that you can go back to the ANC and enjoy it. Because remember Winnie Mandela once said before she dies, her last wish is to see Malema back in the ANC. So maybe the boy was contemplating that, but the grandmother said, "You know what, my son, it's okay. You can go back and enjoy the benefits. But remember those who sacrificed what they had for you to be where you are. So we're going to take a look at that video, and then you can make up your mind, and then you can let us know in the comments below what you think of today. Is it a soft coup? Is it the end of the EFF? Is it the crisis in the EFF? Is there something that, is untoward that we don't know about? But nonetheless, let's stop speculating and let's go straight to the video.
Sambonani, I see we have a full house today. Thank you for joining us, lastminute.com. We welcome our officials to our media briefing right now. We've got our Treasurer General, we have our National Chairperson, obviously we have our DSG, our SG, our Deputy President, and our CIC. I'm going to hand over to the Deputy President right now.
No, thank you very much, Commissar Lien, our national spokesperson, and the President of the EFF and Commander-in-Chief, the Secretary General, DSG, National Chairperson, the TG, and members of the media. Good afternoon. We've called this press conference as the officials of the EFF now, so that we get an opportunity to publicly read out the letter which I sent yesterday to the President and Commander-in-Chief in terms of the politics of South Africa. I'm going to read the letter word per word so that there are no speculations in terms of the basis upon which we are communicating this particular decision. So the letter says, "Greetings, Comrade President. The chairperson of Ward 44, Johannesburg, has informed me that my membership of the EFF has lapsed. And I said, please be informed that I will not renew my membership of the EFF in Ward 44, which is one of the best performing wards in Johannesburg region. I also request to resign my position as Member of Parliament and all positions in the EFF. I will only do so after receiving a go-ahead from the organization because it is the EFF that deployed me to Parliament. I cherish and appreciate the work that we collectively did in the EFF and building a formidable organization. I believe the aspirations and vision contained in the organizational redesign document of the EFF can still be achieved. That the visions that are contained in the organizational redesign document of the EFF can still be achieved, and that I believe so. That my non-renewal of EFF membership is not a vote of no confidence in the organization, but a revolutionary act that will allow progressive forces to unite and work towards the agenda for progressive and revolutionary change. I have never in my service of the organization acted outside its democratic and revolutionary decisions, discipline and practice. I have served with humility and discipline. I will never abandon the cause for economic emancipation and true freedom in our lifetime. I will never compromise my commitment to true emancipation, and I will never abandon my commitment to the Marxist-Leninist ideological lenses and view and guide to action in my understanding of society. I will not do and say anything that will compromise the integrity of the organization that we have collectively founded. My sincere plea is that in its reflection of the decision that I have taken, The organization should also avoid mischaracterization of an otherwise revolutionary and disciplined decision to not renew membership of the EFF, and the request that I must be released from all areas that I'm deployed on behalf of the EFF. And then say that we have over the years played an important role in shaping the politics of South Africa and the continent, the African continent. We have all played our parts progressively, and I have no doubt that we will continue to do so in our respective different responsibilities. I firmly believe that political decisions should never be personalized and treated as betrayal of the cause and of individuals. I said, Comrade President, you are my brother and comrade, and will always cherish the contributions we made in our lives during the formation of the EFF, even prior to that. I wish the economic freedom fighters full prosperity and success, and wish that all the commissars and ground forces and public representatives and members of the EFF Students' Command will accept this very difficult decision that I have taken. The struggle and war for economic freedom will never be compromised by any individual decision. It has been ingrained in the hearts and minds of many people in South Africa and the entire African continent. Revolutionary regards and God bless, and the letter is signed off. And just to give clarity so that there is no speculation, I've decided not to renew the membership of the EFF because I will join and participate in Umkhonto Wesizwe Party. I am not going to speak here in Winnie Madikizela Mandela House as to what is the basis of that, because that will be tantamount to campaigning already for Umkhonto Wesizwe Party. So I'm going to be actively involved in Umkhonto Wesizwe Party and shape its direction and the politics that are obtaining today in South Africa. So that is to end the uncertainty or speculations that have been obtaining in terms of what is going to happen. There is no specific position that have been assigned to me. There is no commitment or any promise of deployment to parliament or to anything. It's a decision that I have taken, and I think and believe that it will add meaningful value to the progressive and revolutionary politics that must be pursued by all the progressive forces in South Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DP. CIC, I'll hand over to you to say something.
Thank you very much, members of the media, the officials of the EFF. I stand before you to accept the decision of the Deputy President of the EFF, who has voluntarily resigned his positions and did not renew his membership. When he sent me a letter yesterday, I felt the same pain when I received the news of the passing away of my mother. Because Floyd, to me, is not just a comrade, he's a brother. And he will remain a brother even when he pursues his political career differently. We formed this organization together. And I've told him that resigning from the EFF is equal to resigning from himself, because this is his organization. The constitution of the EFF does not allow people to resign and join other political parties and come back to the party. But I've made this offer to Floyd, that the day you decide to come back, you are more than welcome, because you are not a member. You are a founder of this political party. So you are not our enemy, will never be your enemies. We'll continue to engage on different political and personal issues. Floyd is not the only one. Jimmy Manyi has also resigned to go and join MK. And there will be many others who are going to leave the EFF because they've got their loyalty and support to the deputy president. So fighters on the ground should be prepared for more people to follow. And this should not serve as a point of collapse for the EFF. This is a testing moment. The organization that has lived beyond 10 years has never been through this testing moment. The EFF will have to pass this test or it will have to die. And we, as members and leaders of the EFF, will defend its life, will make sure it lives forever for generations to come. It is the responsibility of the provincial leaders, the regional leaders, and the branch leaders to consolidate the ground and strengthen the branches of the EFF. This is not the end. It's a beginning of a journey because we've turned 10 years and this is a new chapter for the EFF. So you can be rest assured that we are not going to be howling insult at each other. We are not going to be speaking bad about each other. Individuals make individual political decisions, and they will stand by those decisions. We all write our own individual history, and the deputy president has decided to write his own history. And individuals will leave the organization, but the organization must still stand because the organization must live beyond individuals. If it is an organization, it can't rely on the existence of individuals, including me as a person. If it happens one day, I die, the EFF will have to live beyond me because the EFF has got its own founding manifesto, its own election manifesto. The EFF is well represented in Parliament and will continue to execute its responsibilities. We wish DP all of success. We know that wherever he's going to be of value. We have lost a valuable member as the EFF, but the show continues. Thank you.
Ngiyabonga Siasi. So we're going to take questions, but one round. So, whoa, President, do you see? Everyone's hands are going up. So we'll start over here. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, and that's it. I didn't see you. And number 11, and we close in. And number 1.
Samkele Masego. Samkele Masego. Not Samkele.
What did I say? Samkele.
Not Samkelo, yes. From the SABC. My question is directed to Mr. Shivambo and also to you, Mr. Malema. To Mr. Shivambo, what ultimately led to your decision to leave the July 26 movement that you ultimately formed after the Marikana massacre? 2, there have been reports in the past of a very frictious relationship between yourself and Mr. Malema. Did this ultimately contribute to your ultimate decision to join the MK party? Thirdly, in KwaZulu-Natal, when you were a deployee, you were perceived as someone who is purging the supporters of Marshal Dlamini. And some may have perceived you as a Trojan horse that was sent inside the EFF to work to weaken it in order for the gains of the MK party within that particular province? Any substance or credence to those particular allegations? Then, on a last one on you, Mr. Shivambo. On Monday, it's reported that you met former President Zuma in KwaDunuse in Nkandla. Did you have this meeting with Mhlanganyelwa at his homestead? To Mr. Malema, speaking at the 10th anniversary gala dinner in Kempton Park, you spoke about how you would never want Floyd to coalesce behind your back. And if that were to ever happen, you would ultimately be ruthless politically as you've been in the past. What does this say about your relationship with him, now being the one who chooses to leave, as opposed to your words to say that if they want you out, they must just come to you and you will simply drive away to the sunset and leave them with this July 26 movement? Mr. Malema, do you feel as if your association and embracement of former President Zuma, particularly after the tea, has contributed to the negative fortunes of the EFF, as many have been confused of the nature of the EFF and Jacob Zuma, henceforth the elections? Thank you.
You might have covered all the questions for everybody else. Number two.
I think some girl has already asked all the questions. Just to find some clarity, I think you'll educate us politically in terms of the constitution of the EFF. Will there be a replacement for DP immediately, or that will be decided at the next conference in December? Thank you. Or Mudiba from the Inside Factor, sorry.
Number three.
Thank you very much. It's Zianda Ngobo from Newsroom Africa. Just following off of my colleague's question, Samkela Masego, Mr. Malema, there's also been a lot of speculation, and perhaps she can also speak for herself, that Veronica Mente and Boysen Ndlozi are also set to follow the DP. Who exactly are you aware of possibly leaving the EFF? You also just mentioned it. Mr. Malema, did you see it coming? And then lastly to Mr. Shivambo, what is it about the MK party that was so attractive that you'd leave your own movement that you started yourself? What was the nature of the discussions to have you cross over? I know you said you don't want to discuss much here, but just if you could give us a brief summation. Thank you.
Number four. I like that story. Number five, are you covered too? Yes.
Salalo Makwidi from Salam Media. My question is to Mr. Julius Malema. Your relationship with MK now, is it cordial? Do you feel hard done and blindsided by them? You mentioned that a few members will be following the deputy president. From now onwards, how will you be interacting with the MK? Thank you.
Number six. Seven.
Good afternoon. My name is Kgosi FM. Just looking at your demeanor after delivering the letter, it seems like quite a painful moment for you. What are some of your personal reflections 11 years now, and perhaps some moments that some of us may have not been privy to during these 11 years, just at the top of your head? And at a later stage, would you then consider returning to the party? Is that something you think you'd ever think about, given that you've been offered, to say the door remains open for you? Thank you.
8.
Good afternoon, Shannon Merricks from Kgosi Broadcasting Africa. My question is, the DP and the president can respond to this. As we've been public about this, that MK was started to destroy EFF and ANC even before elections. You can check our Twitter, we've been public. We've also been public about people in EFF that are almost playing for two teams We've been public. You know Twitter, you can go and check all those. So we are not even surprised with the list of people resigning and going to the MK, because we made those predictions. We saw the results of in KZN. We saw after EFF at FNB had over 100,000 people. When it went to Northern Cape, that event for a celebration, it looks to us, not to you, to us, that that event should have had more than that number of people. The results in KZN, it's our opinion. People in EFF didn't attack MK because there's no way you can deploy people in KZN in some of the province. They deployed there, they can't see MK is a threat. MK was never under attack by EFF. That's our assessment. Whether we're wrong or right, whether you agree or disagree. So what is happening today, you can go to our tweets before elections. It's what we predicted. And we're not even surprised with the people leaving. But politically, for Floyd Shivambo and Julius Malema coming from Sheshego, Floyd coming from Jimmy Jones, I know you'll remain friends because politically you are more mature than that. But how do you say to those that will now, the split, where Jimmy Manye decided to join MK, where somebody else will have to decide to join Julius Malema, how do you respond to those people about your political decisions to understand that they are not enemies, they should be as mature, and I'm happy you both here. But for me, I saw this coming, I'm not surprised, sorry. Go check our tweets. It's a sad moment, but we saw this coming. Thank you.
This was a long preamble. Thank you. Number 9. Number 9.
Mohammed Baum from Radio Islam International. Mr. Malema, is this the beginning of the end of the EFF?
Number 10.
My greetings to the House. Mtunzi is my name, from Welela News. This question directed to the President. As it's been alleged that the Deputy President, Floyd, he had a meeting on Monday at Nkandla with the President Zuma. If it's yes, he had, was the President aware about that meeting that was taking place? And the letter that you received from Floyd yesterday, also of Jimmy Manye, when was it received? Is it also received yesterday? Thank you very much.
And lucky number 11, thank you.
Okay, no, thank you very much. My name is Lunga from the Mail and Guardian. Look, President, mine is just to you. Was the decision of maybe Mr. Shivambo based on saying that there were issues of paging, that maybe you were afraid that he was going to challenge you in the next conference? Did maybe Mr. Shivambo can also maybe speak on that to say, was it an issue where, because from what I hear is that there were dissenting voice that maybe you should step aside and new minds should come to play and maybe another leader should take over the party. So is this not what caused the situation of where you are now? Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we won't be taking any more questions after that. DP, can I hand over to you to respond, and then President, you will close. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Commissar Lien. I thought I'd indicated when. Oh, to speak from this facility. No, thank you very much for the questions. And I thought we'd said when, in the main statement, that I don't want to speak about the Mkondo Sizwe party here. So if you say, why did you join and what attracts you, then you are forcing me to speak about Mkondo Sizwe party here and the reasons. I will talk about Mkondo Sizwe openly in the appropriate platforms. And that is what we'll do. What I know, though, is that the Progressive Caucus Charter, which was co-signed by Mkhonto Wesizwe Party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, the ATM, the NCC, and the UAT. Amongst other things, it says that we shall fight for expropriation of land without compensation for equitable redistribution. So that joint charter which we signed also says that we're going to fight for the nationalization of the commanding heights of the economy, in particular the mines and the banks. It also says that we're going to strengthen our democracy by ensuring that the government and all captains of the ruling class are held accountable to achieve a corrupt-free society. It also says that we shall fight for the decolonization of legal and cultural apparatuses in society as a whole, with emphasis on an Afrocentric philosophy of law. So the charter which we jointly signed says that we shall fight for free quality education, healthcare, housing, water, and sanitation. It also says that we're going to fight for the industrial development of the African economy, attainment of peace and stability in all its nations. And it also says that we shall defend and promote the liberation, struggle legacy, and progressive internationalism. And part of the key tenets of the political ideological agreement that I know jointly defines the EFF and Mkhonto Wesizwe Party is anti-capitalism, it's anti-racism, it's anti-sexism, it's anti-colonialism. And those an anti-imperialist character as well, the rule of law. And those are the values which I know I can say this because these are values that commonly characterize the political parties. So one thing which I don't do, Samkel, I'm sure you could have realized, is that I don't entertain rumors and speculations. So even if people spread false things about what happened and what didn't happen, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I deal with politics and political content strictly. So every time I'm going to have a political discussion or a media discussion, it will strictly be on content issues and how do we shape society, how do we build a progressive society which is going to benefit the black majority and Africans in particular. So that is the agenda that we're going to be communicating. Those things of who met who, when, and all of those things, like I went to Nkandla during elections or last year when we were setting up structures. I've never been to Nkandla in the recent past, but I don't want to enter into that discussion. And I will not be tempted, not once, to take platforms to talk about personal issues. All the time, we'll stick to the commitment of talking politics, of content, of ideology, of just how do we take society forward. That is strictly what we're going to deal with. The rest of the issues, I don't think they are worth responding. Thank you very much.
No to DP. CIC, can I hand over to you to close?
Me and Floyd had a meeting yesterday at this place for a very long time, just the two of us. Because when I got the news, I was in Polokwane, and I asked to see him, and I met him. We had an open, frank debate about it, and then later we were joined by the SG. We spoke about everything. And then this morning at 10, we had a meeting of the officials. And then we invited to the last lunch by the TG after the meeting. So before we came here, we ate together. Because there's nothing personal about political personal decisions. So you can be rest assured nothing is really going to affect our relationship. Well, I've got no relationship, none whatsoever, or association with President Zuma. I don't have any kind. So we fought President Zuma, and then when he was out, we're done with it. So to pursue him, even after his term of office, will be unreasonable. And that's why I never saw a need to speak bad about him in the elections, because my focus was on the main political party that we seek to remove from power. So I can't be concentrating on other political opposition parties instead of concentrating on the main target, which was the ANC and the DA. Those were the two parties ahead of us. So that's what we focused on. And I've never taken any platform to speak bad about President Zuma, because I believe that it's not my space to be fighting other small political parties. We need to focus on the main enemies of the revolution. There are people who spoke very bad about MK, spoke very bad about President Zuma, who are going to join him now. That's the nature of politics. Politics, if we're in the stock market, it was going to be a very volatile stock because of in and out. You can't say, no, they are here, they are forever here. So we take that risk as we continue to build the organization. There will not be any replacement of the DP because we're going to the conference in December, so there's no need. But also, if you appoint anyone to be deputy president now, you are creating expectations. And when we arrive there, that person is not elected as president. You cause more problems now. So we are very fortunate, though unfortunate, that it happens on the eve of the conference. And the conference will be able to resolve that. I can't give a list of who's going to join MK after Floyd. I didn't know Floyd was going to join MK. So if I didn't know about Floyd, can you imagine about others? Because I'm more close to Floyd, more than anyone else. So if I didn't know about Floyd, you can expect that there will be others. Our relationship with MK does not get affected by individual members joining MK or leaving MK to join EFF or anything. Our relationship is defined by what the deputy president has read as a charter for progressive caucus. And that's what brings us together with MK. I don't know about pending charges of VBS or anything of that sort. So I wouldn't say there was anything necessitated by that. Samkele, I know of a long list of people who are double pegging. The EFF, the MK, I know them. Sometimes I tell them that this one is going to move, this one is going to move, this one. So some of these things don't shock us because we anticipated them, we see them as they come. But we must be rest assured that the organization will live beyond us. You talk about FNB and then talk about Northern Cape. You know there are no people in Northern Cape. So you want a big rally in Northern Cape where there are no people. There are no people. The whole of Northern Cape was at that stadium. So where must I go get others from? Northern Cape does not come anywhere close to Soweto. So to compare FNB with Northern Cape is unrealistic. And what is worse about FNB is that we had buses all over South Africa coming to the rally at the FNB. We didn't have that at the Northern Cape. Actually, the Northern Cape rally shocked us because we're just from the elections. People are exhausted, there's fatigue. But the way the people of Northern Cape responded reaffirmed that this organization is going to live for a very long time. This is not the beginning of the end of the EFF. This is the beginning of a new chapter for the EFF. This organization will be here for a very long time. Some Kelo, you know, we don't preside over failed projects. Once we put our mind into it, we put our souls into it, we will work tirelessly for this organization, including in KZN. We have not given up on KZN. I don't know of a meeting between Floyd and President Zuma. When did Manye resign? Monday, this Monday. Yeah, Monday. But even before he left, he sent me a message saying he wants to see me. He asked for an appointment through the SG, and the SG is not acting on that appointment, so he's coming directly to ask me for a meeting. I referred back the communication to SG, and SG's response was very simple. He's leaving. So he's going to MK. So what meeting for what? Because he's leaving. Why must we have a meeting? He's leaving. So he wants me to call you to come and tell you that he's leaving. He's leaving. And then that was when Friday, Thursday, somewhere there. And then Monday he resigned. SG sent me the letter. And I've not done anything. I've not spoken to him. It's not my place. He has made his own decision. I'm not aware of Floyd going to challenge me in the next conference of the EFF. If anything, where such rumors were raised, no one even bothered to bring them forward as a threat that, no, Malian Guardian said this, you see the plan of these guys is clear, because no one ever took that very serious, because there was no such a thing. And there was never a discussion to replace Floyd as the deputy president. All of the informal talks I've listened to, there's never been a single person who came to me and said, we need to remove Floyd. If anything, I've heard that Marshall is going to be contested and things like that. But I've never heard that about Floyd. And that there's a possibility of a contestation between the two of us. So this could not have been necessitated by paging or fighting between me and Floyd, because there was no such a conflict. So we are where we are. Painful as it is, we have to accept it, and we have to move on. It was unexpected. Some of our leaders shed tears this morning because it came as a shock, and they've never seen it happening. So we accept it. There's nothing much we can do about personal decisions. When people take personal political decisions, that should never lead into enmity. We drink holy water with Castle Matal. For many years, since the formation of the EFF, but he's a member of the ANC, he's a leader of the ANC, he's a deputy minister of police. That has never made us to be enemies. So I'm giving you that example, that belonging to a different political party does not make you an enemy. But we must accept that people will have personal decisions and personal developments, and that we are not stuck where we are. What you need to know is that I will remain a loyal and disciplined member of the EFF, and that my coffin will be draped with the flag of the EFF. Even if I remain alone, I will do so because I'm loyal to this cause. And when there were rumors that I'm joining the ANC, my grandmother was still alive and said to me, you can join the ANC and get all the benefits you want. But what about these people who turned against the ANC in support of you? What's going to happen to these people? So many people's careers were destroyed. So many people became poor, and some lost even their homes because of this idea called the EFF. And to resign from it, I will be betraying those people who said we're prepared to take this risk because we believe in the vision of the EFF and its generational mission. So I want to reassure the ground forces of the EFF, loyal, hardworking, disciplined ground forces of the EFF. I am with you, and I will never turn my back against this organization. And I will never turn my back against this building named after one of the best leaders our struggle has produced, Winnie Madikizela Mandela House. So, this organization has got leadership. This organization has got structures. And the structures are seized with the process of preparing for conference. So be rest assured, tomorrow, the doors of this building will still be opened. We are not closing this building today, and we're not closing this building tomorrow. It will remain here as a monument for the struggle for economic freedom in our lifetime. So I want to repeat, I will be buried with the flag of the EFF. My coffin will be draped with the flag of the EFF, and I will never turn my back on my people. Thank you.
Thank you, CIC. Oh, no, that includes our presser for today. I will release the officials. Thank you, President.
And we are back from the video, and then yeah, that was hectic. That was something else. That was, I don't know what to say about that, and I really don't know. I really don't know how to put this on. I really don't know how to analyze that. But you know what? The way it looked, it was very tense. It was very tense, and Malema looked so defeated, like I said earlier. Malema looked so defeated, and Malema looked so tired. It's like, you know what, if someone can just say, take this away from me, I'll be very happy, man. So if maybe they don't elect him December conference, he will be saying, thank God, I'm gone. I'm going to look after my cabbages. I'm going to look after my sheep. I'm going to look after my farm, and I'm done with this thing. Because the way he was speaking, I mean, Malema, the way he's so fiery about sometimes. Malema, he's one of those people that doesn't hold back, especially if someone has become their enemy. And I believe Floyd has become his enemy, in a way, but because of his loyalty to Zuma, in a way as well. He won't say it. And I think Floyd knows a lot about Malema besides. So they can never spill each other's beans, you know what I'm saying? There's been speculations that the VBS thing is playing, in this whole thing, and the speculation that, Just I don't know. Like Samuel Maseko was asking questions about there's been a tension simmering between the two of them and all that, and Malema dismissing that no, we don't. And since the relationship between him and Juma changed since the tea, remember Malema went there in a helicopter to go drink tea with the president, and when he came out, he was never critical of Zuma anymore. So people, that was before Jacob Zuma got arrested. So people was like, Samuel Maseko was asking, isn't that what happened? That the team made some things to happen, blah, blah, blah. So you'll never know actually what could be the motive behind this. So, and when Malema, what did you make of Malema saying there going to be a lot of people leaving? There are going to be a lot of people leaving the EFF because already Jimmy Manyi, who's Mzongela Manyi, is gone. Mzongela Manyi, remember, he still is the spokesperson of the Jacob Zuma Foundation. I was just wondering, how is he going to do this Jacob Zuma thing when he's now in the EFF and now a parliamentarian EFF? So they were both going to be opposition. So Mzongela Manyi was just a matter of time. He left, he's in the EFF. Are we expecting to see Kalni House following suit? Are we expecting to see Wisdom Kwabani following suit as well? But we don't know. We'll have to see with bated breaths and check, because if that happens, that's the end of the EFF as we know it. Because then, that is my opinion, but you can tell us your opinion on the comments below as well, Lord. What do you think? Do you really think that this is the end of the EFF as we know it, or do you think that maybe the EFF will still survive this whole thing? Because in December, remember, they are going for their own national conference. Do you think Malema himself is going to survive the conference? Do you think that the EFF is Malema? Without Malema, there's no EFF. If it's like that, then we're in trouble, because at the end of the day, we can't have a cult leader like Mugabe staying for 30 odd years. Look at Kagame and Paul Kagame now of Rwanda has been elected for the 4th time as the president of Rwanda. Maybe it's because he's doing a very good job, or he just become one of those dictators that want to get out of power. You understand what I'm saying? So we do not know what's happening, but tell us your thoughts and your theories down in the comments below. And then, what do you think? Make up your mind and tell us what's happening. So we'll still be waiting to hear more from the EFF side. Who else is leaving the EFF, going to join? They're almighty, growing every single day. My child of not even a year old, but here he is. He's annihilating parties of 10 years. He annihilated a party of 102 years. Now he's annihilating a party of 10 years, biggie by biggie. Yeah, but then you know what? One thing again before I can go is that I believe maybe somewhere somehow, this is how the Progressive Congress, they saw it. You know what? Bring Floyd here on our side. Let him do this, because we are fighting the very good fight, both of us. So bring Floyd here so that he can be part of us on our benches, and then you guys can still be in your benches, but we are almost doing the same thing. Because remember, people are still asking, why can't the EFF just join MK? Or why can't MK EFF just join ANC? Because they are from the same party anyway, and they are all sharing the same vision. The ANC has lost that vision up to so far. So, hey, it's neither here nor there. But today we see a little bit of a bloodbath. Floyd Shivambo, the founding member of MK party, EFF party, has resigned all his positions. Imagine resigning, being a party member, resigning all his positions and joining the almighty MK party in parliament. Interesting day in politics, as you know, politics in a day in politics is 1,000 years out here on us, the peasants. So with all that, I say, you know what, good night. Have a very good night. We love you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our content so that we can give you more and more and more and more and more. And let us hear your thoughts, man, down in the comments below. Very simple. You just comment and say, what do you think? Do you think this is the end of the EFF? Do you think that the EFF is dying a slow, painful death? Or do you think this is the end of Malema and Floyd? Or do you think Floyd knows more by Malema, and then just, you know what, let me just leave you with this, because really, we don't know what's going to happen. So tell us your thoughts and the theories, and then I'll meet you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good night. Bye-bye.